Radical.
First off, before I get into this commentary, I want to thank Rockboy, who led me to this. Literally, he left a comment telling me about this, so I thought I'd look into it a little bit more and turn this into a commentary. So thank you, Rockboy. I previously talked about how Snow White is underperforming, and it is a box office bomb. And I pointed the blame, mostly the blame, squarely at Rachel Zegler, even though there's blame to be shared around. I think she gets the bulk of the blame. I'm not the only one that thinks that way. You know who else thinks that way? The son of one of the producers of Snow White, Jonah Platt. Now, the producer's name is Mark Platt, and he has laid the blame squarely at Rachel Zegler and her narcissism and, quote, dragging her personal politics into the middle of promoting a movie. Okay, so politics is very divisive. The last thing you want to do if you're promoting a big-time Disney movie, whether it be your politics on anything, you don't want to drag that shit into the middle of promoting a movie. But she did that, right? Okay, so this is crazy. Reading about this is insane. What happened was the producer had to go and fly to New York to, quote, reprimand Rachel Zegler during the promotional cycle. And this person tried to get Rachel Zegler to delete a media post reading, "Always remember Free Palestine." So this person, could you imagine a producer of a big budget movie having to go and fly to actually just reprimand somebody? Not just a call, but has to fly to personally find somebody and reprimand him. Now, the Sun says, quote, "Yeah, my dad, the producer of an enormous piece of Disney IP with hundreds of millions of dollars on the line," that's key here, "had to leave his family to fly across the country to reprimand his 20-year-old employee for dragging her personal politics into the middle of promoting the movie, for which she signed a multi-million-dollar contract to get paid and do publicity for. This is called adult responsibility and accountability, and her actions clearly hurt the film's box office." Also, he said, "Free speech does not mean you're allowed to say whatever you want in your private employment without repercussions. Tens of thousands of people worked on that film, and she hijacked the conversation for her own immature desires at the risk and of all the colleagues and crew and blue-collar workers who depend on that movie to be successful. Narcissism is not something to be coddled or encouraged." Damn, I agree 100%. Because if you are part of a movie during the promotional cycle specifically for that movie, now it's one thing years into the future. If you're talking about your experience with a movie or something like that, and you're letting it dish out, okay. But there's all these people. Tens of thousands of people worked on the film. Wow, tens of thousands of people? I don't know. I mean, I saw clips of it. I'm not going to say the movie would have turned out spectacular if Rachel Zegler would have watched what she said, because the movie was what the movie was going to be. But just putting that aside, Rachel Zegler, with her personal actions and her narcissism and her decisions she made during that promotional cycle, which she got paid a lot of money to promote the movie. Like, that's part of her job, to go around and promote the movie. It's just not like she was going on her own behalf. She was getting paid to go promote the movie. And to go and have that kind of situation where she is going off the script and she's going to all of her personal bullshit, talking about, this is not 1937, we're going to modernize it and shit. I fail to think that was part of the actual stuff she was given to say about the movie. At this point, you have all these people that jobs are on the line, the blue-collar workers, the people setting up the shots. There's so many people that were part of that movie that want to get paid. And she is affecting their payday. She personally, with her fucking narcissistic actions, by going off the script, she is affecting the payday of everyone connected to that movie. So imagine if you're a producer and you have to fly, like I said, to New York. That's just crazy to me. You got to fly personally to reprimand this bitch and tell her this is beyond her. This is not just her little personal vehicle to promote Rachel Zegler. No, this is her being paid to promote that movie, to say what they give her to say. So maybe, who knows? Maybe no one told her specifically not to go out there during the press interviews and say anything controversial. Maybe no one said that. Because possibly, to a mature person, it's understood. It's unspoken that you don't need to go out there and say anything that's going to rile up the fan base. The last thing you want to do is go out there and piss off the original fans of the original Snow White. That's the last thing you want to do. I mean, some people are basically going to say, listen, no one was going to accept her as Snow White regardless because she's not white. I don't think that's completely honestly true. There might be still people that question the casting, but if she came out and she glowingly talked about the original Snow White movie and was humble, imagine this, humble to be playing that role and doing her best to try to be the best Snow White that she can be, we might have a different situation here. But that's not what she did. She came out during the press interviews, she shit on the original movie, one of Disney's greatest movies, and she did so much damage. Could you imagine anyone in the future, any big director, any big studio, choosing Rachel Zegler to be the star, the centerpiece of any movie in the future? I don't think it's going to happen. And she deserves to never have a starring role in a movie ever again. Could you imagine getting that shot? Any of you listening right now, being a star actor or a star actress in a remake of a Disney movie and fucking it all up. But Rachel didn't just fuck things up for her and her future. She fucked things up, like his producer said, for the tens of thousands of people that worked on that film, that are connected to this box office bomb.